Yan Pillitteri of NIST is here. Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate having you. Here to talk about the risk management framework that your organization has released. How's that having an influence, in your view, on the way that organizations are thinking about doing cloud security, cybersecurity in general, and especially now it's starting to touch AI too?
Well, the NIST Risk Management Framework is the foundation for cybersecurity risk management, and it's the process that any organization, federal agency or private sector, can use to better understand and manage the risks to their systems and organizations from use of any kind of IT system, including AI. So the process is basically preparing for risk management, implementing a good risk management program, selecting the protections you need, implementing and continuously monitoring. Mm-hmm. It is completely agnostic to any type of technology, to any type of organization. These are frankly just good practices in a repeatable, manageable way to communicate about that. So we're really excited to see how this is going to be applied for upcoming new and emerging technologies like AI. We've seen it applied to IoT systems. So it's just a little bit of the same process with a slightly different tint on how you implement and select your protections.
Take me back through the genesis of this. What was the original demand signal that created your organization's efforts to start doing this in the first place?
Well, basically, when the government started buying and implementing IT systems, we realized, oh, there's a lot of risk we have to manage. And originally, before the FISMA, the Federal Information Security Modernization Act of 2002, I think.
Sounds right.
And then updated in 2014, it told agencies, you need to understand and manage risks associated with IT systems. That's it. So the RMF is a process. It's a methodology, not a checklist. And I think one of the things that we've seen over time is the RMF is being used as a checklist. It's not you do these 10 things and you're compliant. Mm-hmm. It's a process that can be used by anyone. It can be tailored to your environment, to your system, to your organization, to your needs, so you can understand what you have, how you need to protect it, and if you're doing it.
How do you get out there and let people know that it's not a checklist, that it's not intended for that use in the first place?
Well, I have great people like you invite me to hang out. Basically, it's good practice, right? We're trying to codify things that just make sense. And at the end of the day, it's how do we provide the tools and the resources to all stakeholders so they can better understand what they have, identify how to protect it, and do it, and continuously monitor it. And we do this through our security and privacy controls.
You told me before we turned the cameras on that you're in the process of taking comments and parsing those, understanding what people's issues are. What makes for good feedback from whether it's government or industry or some other interested person to help inform how you move forward?
Well, something that's really special about NIST standards and guidelines is we really rely not only on our own research and the expertise we have in-house, but partnerships with federal agencies and feedback from any stakeholder, whether you be a two-person shop or whether you be the largest federal agency there is. Good feedback is helping us understand what works well, what doesn't work well. The guidance that we have, it's developed to be organization agnostic, tool agnostic, vendor and technology agnostic. But are we pointing you in the right direction to help you protect your systems and organizations from a very specific risk? The comment period that you're talking about recently closed in the beginning of August. NIST has adjudicated the comments, and we're really excited to release an update to our security and privacy controls before September 2nd, in accordance with the recent executive order on cybersecurity.
Whether it's this particular incident or just generally when you're taking comments from the public, how do you go through those and incorporate them and use them to inform whatever the finished product is?
Well, NIST has actually developed a really cool tool that allows organizations to provide us feedback on our controls anytime. So 2 a.m, you can't sleep. You know what'll help you sleep? Reviewing some controls and giving us some feedback.
I'll try that.
It'll put you right to bed, don't worry. But what we do is we accept comments anytime, not just during comment periods. So as you're using it, as you're implementing our standards and guidelines, we want to hear from you, from the implementer, what works well, what doesn't work well, and how can we make it better. So that's, we accept comments anytime. And during comment periods, as we plan for revisions, we consider every single comment. We adjudicate and review every single piece of feedback that we get. And we battle a little bit on how best to recommend and implement them. But their feedback is incorporated into updates of 53, and through our really cool tool that we've developed, you, as the stakeholder that gives us feedback, will know if your feedback was accepted, whether it was declined, and you can reach out and find out why.
So you talked about releasing the final product on the risk management framework. Once that comes out, do you have some metrics whereby you're able to see, okay, organizations are using this the way that we hoped or intended, or once something's out, is it on to the next thing?
I think it's a little bit of both. We don't formally measure implementation or how well organizations are doing. But given our great relationship with other federal agencies and private sector, we always take that anecdotal feedback anytime to understand how people are using it, what's working well and what's not. And we consider that for the next iteration. Whether you like it or not, good risk management is going to be here to stay. So even though we are working on a lot of new exciting things, like work on developing security controls focused on protecting AI systems, our bread and butter is always promoting good risk management.
You anticipated my next question. We have about a minute left. What's next?
What's next? So we're really excited to hopefully soon be releasing a concept paper of our plan for developing a set of security control overlays for protecting AI systems. And I think one of the things that we really want to do is address the different use cases of AI. Because how you would protect the model, the data, and the output for, say, a predictive AI system versus a generative AI system versus an agentic AI system versus, for developers of AI systems, the security considerations are going to be slightly different, and you're going to have slightly different focuses. But the one thing that we did hear from our great partnerships with other agencies, with private sector, is to leverage existing standards and guidelines. And that's what exactly we plan to do. So really excited to release that, start up a community of interest, and get you all engaged.
It's great to have you here, Vicki. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me, Francis.